Okay, what if you could build a financial system completely from scratch? Design it from the ground up to be, well, unstoppable? Today, we're going to dive into the super ambitious 10-year vision for a project called TOI Exchange, which is trying to do exactly that, create a brand new sovereign financial infrastructure.
So the problem TOI says it's solving is something they call the market paradox. And honestly, if you're in this space, you've felt it. Right now, you're kind of forced to make a tough choice. On one side, you've got the titans. Think Binance or Coinbase. They're fast, they've got tons of liquidity, but they're also a single point of failure, right? And they're under a lot of regulatory pressure. But on the other side, you've got the wild west of DeFi. Sure, it gives you security, you hold your own keys, it's all transparent, but let's be real, it can be clunky, complicated, and a huge technical headache. The market basically makes you pick your poison.
And that leads us right to their core thesis, which is a direct shot at that whole trade-off. What gets me here is just the sheer confidence. They're not saying they'll manage the compromise between speed and safety better. No, their mission is to engineer it completely out of existence. That is a massive claim, so let's dig into the philosophy that's driving it.
Their whole guiding light is what they call the no-failure directive. The main idea here is to build a system with absolutely no single point of failure, or NSPOF as they call it. And this one principle, it becomes the bedrock for everything else they're building. So this directive, it stands on three big pillars: security, integration, and autonomy. And when you put them all together, the goal isn't just to build another trading platform. They're trying to create what they call a financial sovereign, something that can actually survive huge market shocks, a cloud provider like AWS going down, or even massive shifts in regulation.
The first pillar is security. And we're not just talking good security. They literally call it paranoid tier custody. The entire focus here is on building a digital Fort Knox to protect your assets against pretty much every threat you can imagine, both from the outside and from the inside.
Next up is integration. The vision here is pretty cool. They want to tear down the walls between traditional finance, banks, stocks, all that stuff, and the world of DeFi. The idea is to create one single, smooth system where money and assets can just flow freely between those two worlds.
And the final pillar, this is the big one, autonomy. This is really the end game. They want to create a protocol so decentralized and so self-sufficient that it becomes genuinely unstoppable. No single company, no government, no person can just decide to turn it off or mess with it. So how in the world do they plan to actually do this? Well, the 10-year roadmap is split into 3 phases. Phase 1 is called the Fortress, and it's all about the first 2 years. The entire goal here is to build an absolutely impenetrable foundation of security and solvency, so they can earn the market's trust right from day one.
This phase is really all about building that trust with tech you can actually verify. So we're talking about multi-party computation, or MPC, for handling custody, real-time proof of reserves, so anybody can check that the funds are actually there, and decentralized identity, which gives you, the user, total sovereign control over your own data.
Let's break down MPC real quick, because it's super important. Instead of having one private key sitting in one place, which is a huge security risk, the key is created and then instantly split into a bunch of encrypted little pieces, or shards. These shards then get stored in different secure spots. And here's the magic part. The full key is never, ever put back together in one place. That makes it incredibly hard to steal.
A really standout feature in this phase is the Circuit Breaker DAO. Think of it like a community-run emergency brake for the whole system. If the platform detects something weird, like a run on the bank or a major market panic, the community governance can instantly hit pause on withdrawals or trading to stop a total collapse. It's resilience that's literally hard-coded right into the governance.
Okay, so once that fortress of trust is built and solid, the project moves into phase 2. This is for years 3 to 5. And now, the focus shifts away from just pure security and over to integration. The goal here is to start connecting all these separate financial worlds and really scale up the liquidity. The heart of Phase 2 is this thing called the TOI Atomic Router, and it's designed to be like a universal translator for money. The idea is to let you move assets smoothly between different blockchains, like from Bitcoin to Ethereum, and even connect to the regular old fiat banking system, all without having to use those vulnerable, hack-prone bridges we hear about all the time.
So they've got some key upgrades planned for this phase: native cross-chain swaps, a special API just for big institutional players like hedge funds, and they're going to expand into tokenized real-world assets, or RWAs, like gold and T-bills. They're also planning ahead, building with future regulations in mind, like the proposed Clarity Act that's supposed to bring more clear rules to digital assets. Now this is where it gets a little sci-fi. Another key feature of Phase 2 is this AI immune system. It's basically a proactive defense shield that is constantly scanning for malicious transactions. If it spots a potential hack, it literally front-runs the attacker, blocking the threat before it can ever be finalized on-chain. It's like having a security guard that stops the bad guy before he even gets in the front door. All right, now we get to the final and, frankly, most ambitious stage, Phase 3, Total Autonomy. This covers years 6 to 10, and the ultimate goal here is to evolve into a fully decentralized, truly unstoppable protocol.
The vision here is a total transformation. The core parts of the exchange, like the order book, get moved off of centralized servers and onto a globally distributed network of validators. This gets rid of any reliance on a single cloud provider like Amazon Web Services and makes the whole thing truly sovereign. So just how resilient is this network supposed to be? Well, they call it the 49% rule. It's designed so that the entire system can stay fully operational, even if a massive coordinated attack or a huge outage takes down up to 49% of its network nodes all at the same time. I mean, just let that sink in. That is an insane level of redundancy. Two final features of this autonomous phase really stand out. First is global harmony. These are smart compliance modules that automatically change the trading rules based on where a user is, making sure the platform is always legally compliant everywhere. And second is the legacy fund, which is basically a decentralized insurance pool. It's funded by a tiny little tax on every single trade, and it's designed to automatically pay users back if there are any protocol-level bugs.
So you're probably thinking, why can't the big, established exchanges just do all this themselves? Why can't they just copy it? Well, TOI argues that its entire architecture creates a competitive moat, one that makes it incredibly difficult for these centralized giants to ever replicate. And this comparison really drives that point home. You can see the huge architectural difference. While the top-tier exchanges use centralized custody and are vulnerable to cloud outages, TOI uses distributed MPC shards and resilient nodes. While the big guys rely on periodic audits and centralized KYC data, TOI is designed for live, verifiable solvency and self-sovereign identity. It's just a fundamentally different way of thinking in every single category. So when you zoom all the way out, the ambition here isn't just to build a better crypto exchange. The stated goal is to build the foundational financial infrastructure for the next 100 years. A system that is just way more resilient, more transparent, and more sovereign than anything we have today.
And it really all comes back to this one core idea. The argument is that the market has grown up. The era of just blindly trusting these opaque, centralized black boxes is ending. Users are now demanding a system that gives them both the high performance of a Titan and the ironclad security of a vault without having to compromise.
Look, it's a massive 10-year vision, and it's built on some incredibly bold promises. And it leaves us with a pretty powerful question to think about. Is this evolutionary model, starting as a secure fortress and slowly becoming a fully autonomous sovereign, the actual blueprint for the future of finance?